Good evening, good afternoon, and welcome wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours to another exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. The scene takes place in the Prince's Elysium, though currently lacking a keeper of Elysium, I should think. It takes place in the noted, vaunted, and lauded vampire communal space, the Gaiety Theatre, which is located in the heart of Dublin city proper. The rain washes down from overhead. Perhaps if God had been just or merciful, it would be to cleanse whatever filth remained on the streets. But then again, God has an odd sense of humor, and no matter how much rain pounds the pavement, the filth always seems to remain. So it is that a new arrival to Dublin will wend and twist his way through the streets. The lights of the Gaiety Theatre are bright and welcoming as you step in under the awning out of the rain, slicking it off your raincoat or your outer layer of clothing. The bouncers at the door will look you up and down before silently, wordlessly pushing the door to the building open behind them. As you enter, you will see the foyer of the theatre proper, where there is a large six set of steps that leads up to a gilded door. You would assume the entrance to the stage. There's a much larger sweeping staircase off the left-hand side that you can assume safely leads to the balcony, and another door off to the right, which has the words which has the words theatre bar written over them. There are several individuals who are sitting having quiet, sedate conversations in the room as you enter, and one personage who is sitting on one of the six steps leading up to the entrance to the theatre, who has a very large leather book in their lap that they appear to be scribbling in. When you enter, they raise their head up and the eyebrow cocks at an unfamiliar face. If you'd like to do your introduction and give a brief description of your character, feel free.
Right. So, you see an individual who is obviously dressed quite formally, dressed to impress, I would say. He'll walk up to the person with the book and offer his hand out, a smile playing upon his feet. He says, "Good to make your acquaintance, Cornelius Fletcher, though I will respond to Connor."
A pleasure to make your acquaintance, Monsignor. I am delighted to meet you, Alexander Delano, Master of Art Piece for the city of Dublin. He will shake the hand. Are you freshly arrived?
Indeed, I am. I'm from Liverpool.
Ah, well, we can't all have everything we desire in life, or indeed on life.
Well, I thought it was nice for a change of scenery. Besides, this city seems to be up and coming in the world.
Well, insofar as the Sabbath have been driven out, but we are still, how would you say, cleaning up the mess. But, these things happen. My. And what clan is it you hail from, monsieur?
Bruja.
Oh, I see. We do not see many of your kind here these nights, but you will be, I am sure, welcome. Your clan Primogene is, how would I describe him? An exuberant fellow, and I am sure he will do everything in his power to make you feel welcome. I assume that you are here in order to be welcomed into the domain.
Yes, I am.
Oh, if you will excuse me one moment, monsieur. He stands up. He places the book down at his side. He'll walk up the two steps towards the door. He'll tap on the door. You'll see the door open. A large man covered in bandages from head to toe will lean out. The two of them will exchange a few whispered words before the door will close. The seneschal will send for you momentarily. He is occupying the prince's throne this evening, as Prince Train is otherwise occupied. Is that agreeable?
That is fine.
Good, good. What business are you in, monsieur?
Well, as I said, it's somewhat a change of scenery.
No doubt at some point you add a livelihood.
Yes, I'm a doctor.
doctor. Interesting. I have no doubt that you will be a most, how would you say, popular individual. After all, as I pointed out, we are still dealing with remnants of the Sabbath, so we shall see what we shall see. Hmm?
When the Sabbat are removed from the city, they do not leave half a mess.
No, they do not. But we shall come to see your metal in time, no doubt. Ah, the door will open behind him, and the bandaged man will lean out. The seneschal will see you now. He opens the
Okay.
door very, very. You just step inside.
Yep.
Okay. As you step inside, you will find yourself in an
I do
auditorium.
make a slight conscious effort to put a little bit of distance between me and the bandaged fella, even though I need to go right past him.
That's fine. You kind of squeak around because it's bear in mind he's only opened one of the two doors, so literally you have to kind of nearly cling to the opposite closed door, like nope, 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 nope. But you can do it.
He's a big fella. I'm scared.
He doesn't seem to notice, or if he does, he doesn't seem to care. You will enter into the auditorium. It seems as though that there was a play of some description that was being recently performed, as some of the set dressing and sets are still visible on the stage proper. You see the outside of what looks to be a thatched cottage and a handful of tables and chairs. But the seneschal is seated in a very large black high-backed chair that dominates the center of the stage. It's almost comical, as I said, because the chair appears to have been made for a much taller man, but the seneschal himself stands barely 5'3". So his legs kind of dangle ever so slightly off the edge of the chair.
We can't all be fortunate enough to have height. I don't say that out loud. I do not say that out loud.
At least you don't audibly snicker. That was someone else. The seneschal is pictured here. All of the Nosferatu in this room, because there are about 4 or 5 that you can see, have their faces covered by very tasteful masks, or they have bandaged themselves. Because obviously, using Mask of 1,000 Faces is a breach of Elysium. So, as opposed to that, they just use more mundane methods to hide their faces. As you step forward, the seneschal kind of beckons you to step just underneath where the stage is, so he can get a good look at you. The one thing that is probably magical about him, that is very obvious, is even though you're very close to him, you're only about, say, 6-ish feet away. You can't see any of his skin or his eyes on those large slit-like holes of the mask. They are just pools of inky blackness. But he looks down at you with that very kind of odd gaze from the mask, because, as I said, it's impossible to discern his emotions, and he'll say, "So, a third personage. My third this evening. How wonderful. It does seem as though the city is coming back to life, in a manner of speaking. Wouldn't you agree?"
Indeed, that's actually why I'm here. The city seems to be an up-and-coming place. Lots of opportunity for a person of my position.
And what is your name, sir?
I'm Cornelius, though you can call me Connor.
Pleasure to meet you, Connor. Yes. You come from...
I'm from Liverpool, just across the water.
Interesting. Were you a citizen of good standing in the city of Liverpool?
Certainly, you can contact my friends back in Liverpool. They will speak of me highly, I hope.
Oh, there's no need for such verbose formalities. No. We don't need that. I'm just making sure of the caliber of individual who stands before me. I've been somewhat put out this evening, and so I am attempting to reassert my faith in the kindred population.
Oh dear, I would inquire, but I wouldn't want to intrude.
No. It is fine. The matter will, I am sure, be dealt with. Now then, he hops off the chair and he walks to the very, very front of the stage. he crouches down, so he's getting a very good look at you, and he'll say, "Interesting, interesting. Have you planned to stay in the domain long, or is this a permanent relocation? Or
At the moment, I would refer to it as permanent, as I don't have any plans to go anywhere else after this.
I see. How very interesting. Well, you may consider yourself welcome into the domain. Is there anything that I or the office of the prince can do for you, sir?
To be honest, there isn't really much that you can do for me at the moment, but if there is something that comes to mind, I would contact you.
Hmm. Do you have hunting grounds, domain, or no, that you need me to affirm?
No, not at all.
Do you require some?
Oh dear.
Hmm?
Sorry,
He asked if you required domain.
the question somewhat caught me off guard. I'm fine, thank you.
As you wish.
I'm rather humble, if I do say so myself.
Well, the need to hunt is an obvious requirement of our kind. If you should change your mind, he snaps his fingers. You will see a small being kind of pull itself from the wings of the stage and kind of it moves quite quickly, kind of hunched over towards you before it holds out a business card.
Oh, fabulous. I'll take the business card.
That is my. The city is on fire number. I wish I didn't have to have one of those, but dash it all.
Well, as you said, the city is only recently occupied by the Camarilla, meaning there will be lots of individuals looking to exploit the city. And also, there's the remnants of the Sabbat here, which I'm sure will cause even more teething problems.
One moment. Very well then. As I've said, Doctor, welcome to the domain. Leave your full name and contact information with with the Harpy as you leave, and I have no doubt that we shall speak again in less formal circumstances.
Indeed, that would be a pleasure. And if I may speak out of turn, you have a lovely and very soothing voice.
Well, people don't notice these things, but thank you. The much smaller Nosferatu bows emphatically before withdrawing back, almost a thank you, not for insulting me. Poor little sketchy.
Thank you for not referring to me as an animal, sir.
Uh-huh. The seneschal will go back and he'll sit at he'll sit looking down at a set of papers. Um, as you're about to leave, he'll say, "Doctor,"
Yes.
and that is doctor in the medical sense, yes.
Yes. I am a surgeon by trade.
Interesting. Interesting. Hmm. You might be able to look into something for me.
Really? Well, it would be a pleasure
Yes.
to do. It'd be a pleasure to do a favor for someone of such high esteem in the city.
Hmm. Hmm. There's a hospital, St. Luke's Hospital. You see him rifling through his papers. That for some reason has come down with an unusually high percentage of contemplates. I would use the term tainted, but that's not entirely correct. Uh, Unsuitable blood for consumption. And so it is that several individuals who access blood via the blood bank there have been unable to slate their thirst of late. I'm curious if you would be able to do some tests on some of the blood that we have acquired in order to see what the issue is.
You cut out in the middle of that, I'm afraid.
Oh, 1 second. He basically said he is curious if you would do some testing on some blood that they have acquired in order to see why it is no longer suitable for consumption.
Okay. Of course I can do that. That would be a pleasure.
Good. I will see to it that some of it is brought here tomorrow evening for you to collect. Is that agreeable to you?
I'll be here first thing.
Good. Wonderful, in fact. In that case, Doctor, I shall bid you good evening.
Indeed. You as well.
You will be allowed to withdraw out of the room. I'm going to
I'll-
assume that you... Sorry, continue.
No, sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I said I'm going to assume that do you attempt to slip past poor Abdul again? Like, nope.
Yes, though, this time I'm a bit more confident as I go by. I'll actually offer him a slightly uncomfortable smile as I go by.
He looks down at you. Looks down. All you can see from behind the bandages are two very large, almost like saucer-sized, gleaming red eyes. But he will open the door.
Thank you,
You
sir.
will be allowed out. Abdul is always at your service.
It is a pleasure to make the acquaintance of Abdul.
But yes, you are back. You are free. Free!
As I step out and I wait for the door to close, and I'll let a slight sigh to release the tension that built up in my character.
Abdul is an acquired taste.
I can see that, though I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him.
No. I believe the last person who got on the wrong side of him exited the building very quickly through a wall.
Some people are very foolish.
Oui. So, what is your full name, Monsieur? Dr.
Cornelius Fletcher.
Dr. Cornelius Fletcher. Very good. Would you? He turns his ledger around. Please provide a contact number if you would be so kind.
He will take a pen if provided, and will quickly write down a number.
Good. Wonderful.
Also,
in that case,
strangely, he will also list a PO box.
Okay. In that case, Monsieur, welcome to the domain. I hope you enjoy your stay.
I hope to as well.
And with that, is there anything else you would like to do?
Leave.
Okay. With that, we shall end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watcher, for watching. This has been another scene in Darkness in Dublin.